In the sentence since I started. I hope it rings a bell sometimes when another scandal hits this place, and before a scandal hits this place and it's too late for all of us to come back from it. Today marks my 15th appearance before you. Mrs. Maria Valdez, Principal Scott Neely, Superintendent Robert W. Runcie, board members, BTU board members. Today marks 270 days of bullying my family, 274 days of bullying my family. We're not alone and we're not going away, so please try to work with us.
Juliet Hitz. Michael Cerbola.
Hello, Mike Cerbola speaking. This is a mnemonic aid. We have a visitor in town next week. Mr. Dog himself is going to be here, and I've got a mental block, I'm sorry, I'm nervous, but he's going to be here next week, and we have the opportunity to choose dogs instead of drugs, and Dog Whisperers is our middle name, I'm sorry. I am a little bit nervous because so much stuff has happened. I'm kind of excited. We're looking at major changes just in the last 2 weeks that have been announced by the heads of everything from the president on down. It's a very exciting time. I'm a little bit nervous and afraid of it though. I'm afraid it's kind of like, wow, we're free, the snake is let go, but I'm afraid that it's just because it's going to really squeeze down hard now, because I've heard both the president misspeak and Mr. Carvalho, and what I'm hearing is that they say the right things. It's our minds want to say the right thing. Mr. Carvalho is very precise. He says very quickly, well, I know that testing isn't the reason that the kids aren't passing the tests, but, and then for the next 2.5 hours, it's an explanation of how it is that the testing is doing this to the kids and that. Listen, across the nation, the kids are failing. We need to make a change in the culture of our schools. We've seen the path to that partially. We have that potentially coming up here next week. We have cops and drugs in schools, just say no. Cameras and dogs, just say yes. We have a choice. We want to reach for a cell phone or a gun. Child and abuse, neglect causes poverty, not the other way around. I noticed when the president was speaking, he kind of misspoke. In other words, those poor neighborhoods are not more prone to abuse or addiction as a result of the poverty. It is the abuse that causes the poverty. Same thing with Mr. Carvalho. He's very precise. He knows, number one, he says it if you listen real quick. You have to listen fast, and then for the next 2 hours, literally, it's about testing. We have an opportunity here. Talk about more critical thinking. Let's use it. We need to send a letter out and boast about our successes here in Broward, what you have done. We haven't gone out and actually said it, but let's say it in that letter that what we have initiated here is we have stopped applying justice to our kids because you don't teach justice to children by doing justice to children. That in itself is an injustice. They're children. When they're in a school setting, we want to have error be an opportunity for them to learn. It isn't a reason to punish them. We want them to feel safe and secure. That also makes them a safe place. It makes schools not a target. All of this kind of solves all at once, and that's not a mystery. There's a reason for this. There's a reason that there's this frustration with the testing, even though we know better. We talk about lessening arrests as a result of less police presence, as if people were urging to commit crimes if we remove police. No, people aren't urging to commit crimes, just like kids aren't inherently criminals. So I'm out of time. You are wonderful. You've done more progress here. I want you to write a letter to the president and to the CDC to brag about this, have them do a study, despite the NRI's ban on you doing a study, to show how well you've done. They literally banned it. Oh, mic's off.
Thank you. Jennifer Collin.